And here we are again, my friends. Yes, I don't know what this video is about. It's just a lot of random thought. I'm outside this church, this lovely graveyard. I'm at it for the first time. Not sure where I am. I'm by Bradbury Mountain. Bradbury Mountain. It's a little park down the road here. I'm about to enjoy in a little bit for the first time. Probably just have some hiking trails and whatnot. I don't know how many mountain members around here, but I figure you could join me and see, there's an anthill. Try not to step on those, you know. There's something to that, you know. There's Buddhists, there's Hindus that walk around their whole lives with a big old wide sweeping broom, and they sweep ahead of themselves everywhere they go, so they don't by chance step on one of our little buddies here. Now, I'm not going that far, but I'm not going to be so, inconsiderate as just to blast through their obvious little village here when I could easily go around it. No, I'm stepping on something now. You can't help that, you know. But what happened when these people were buried? You think some ants were killed in the process? Don't worry, no ants were harmed in the process of laying down these people into their grave. No, lots of ants died. But, in that case, yeah, you just got to do what you got to do. God will forgive. But it's just, they do this as a matter of, trying to not build up any karmic energies that might cause them to have to live another life. And hey, you can't argue with that logic. The hell if I want to live another life in this troubled world. I don't even want to come back to this world if it was perfected. Who wants to deal with eating, shitting, pissing, breathing, living, dying, throwing up? You're going to have to do that even in a perfect world. I'd rather be in spirit form where, we don't have any of these inner functions. We're just energy from inside to outside, as I understand it. So as you may know, if you follow some of my Groovy Graveside recitals, I always officially touch a first stone. You just was with me when I walked into yet another out of hundreds of fucking cemeteries I've been in between here and Europe. And you just entered this one with me in a sense. And, it's customary for me to touch the first stone. And who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? And I got another little special for you at the end of this video, which shouldn't be long, 20 minutes tops. Okay, over here you have the old town hall, well restored, called the Mallet House, the Malay House or the Mallet House. Here's the side of the church. But who are we gonna touch here? We could touch old Janie Lane. Is that Janie Lane? No, not that Janie. But 88 years old. Janie Lane didn't live nowhere near that long. Died around 60, I think. But no, we could touch that obelisk. I don't know. I particularly like, I like the granite stones. Okay, I don't think I've ever made that perfectly well known. Still got to watch where I'm walking. A lot of anthills in here. A lot of anthills, kid. A lot of anthills. Whoa, I got to climb over that one. Such a big anthill. But here we go. Mrs. Hannah, I think, will be my first. Because if you know anything about my sordid history, and my last name on Facebook is Hannah, which is my ex-wife's last name. And I changed my name on Facebook twice, and you're unable to do it a third time. So people are like, why are you using your ex-wife's name? I can't change it. I'd have to, delete that account and build a new one. And, Facebook's going to eventually delete my account anyway, or the internet's just going to get hijacked and destroyed. And all the files we saved on these channels are going to, be evaporated into nothing. So I don't try to get too caught up in that. I did undergo a process of trying to color copy and laminate a bunch of my more favorite images on Facebook. Because one day that's going to happen. But Mrs. Hannah over here, I think, will be my first because I kind of, in a way, share that last name. Uh, so, wife of Simeon Stubbs. You gotta like that kid. Simeon Stubbs. Oh, let me touch this officially with you now. There it is. The official touch. What is, it's just customary. I don't know. I don't think there's anything, mystical, magical about it. It's just I noticed a while into my taphophile graveyard jaunts is that there's always going to be that first stone I touch, and I never made note of it until let's make that a part of my custom. Whether I record it or not, I still want to have that first stone that makes me officially there. Because you're not officially there by stepping on the ground, because you're not really stepping on the ground. You're in your shoes. You're not officially there. But you're officially there when your flesh makes contact with a stone that, took a big part in somebody else's life and in a region, and now you're a part of that. You're, in some small way, you're a part of more lives than just your own. Now, is that something to be sought after? Not necessarily. There could be bad vibes on that thing. But I do have the protection of Jesus, and I ask for it. But look at this lovely stone here we got. Look at that fine, see that grain work? Oh, ho, 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 is what I'm telling you, kid. It's all about the old grain work up in there. But you got Milliken. That's a cool name, very New Englandy name. I dream of a time before telephone poles, don't you? It just takes away so much of the luster of old. Well, here we've come upon the promise I've made for you here, folks. I've read about this location maybe a month ago or so in a local newspaper about a surviving hearse from this region. I was like, oh yeah, I'm in Durham, but they found it in the woods back here somewhere, I think. But it's from this graveyard. It stood in a shelter in this graveyard for very many years throughout the 1800s and shit. And they tried to preserve it, but some kids took off with it or whatever, and they got it back, restored it, and we're about to come up upon the housing unit for this old Victorian. Now you can tell it's been restored as well. And we got a little neighbor here. Here's our first view of it. See our little neighbor up here? Oi, who's that guy? Who's that guy? Maybe he's gonna jump for it. I don't know. See him? Cricket of some kind, I don't know. But yeah, here we are. Ba-boom. The hearse house. The hearse house. That's pretty badass, kid. Let me back it up so you can tell. We're pretty close to the road here. You'll hear the cars going by. But yeah, they draw the hearse out of this bad boy right here. Every time the church bell would toll, it's time to crank this bad boy open and hook up the horses and scoop up that stiff and get him in that hole over there, So, freshly dug hole. I'm, from what I read of the article, the hearse, it's a horse-drawn hearse, and it resides in this here house from 1834. That's not the original from 1834. Well, this is probably a restoration, simulation of the original that probably originally stood here. But look at these hinges. These hinges are hinging upon absolute radness. Now that's some heavy metal hinges right there, let me tell you. But and that's really it. Oh, and this guy over here, you see this white truck? Notice I'm not showing you any license plate because I don't want you going after it. But yeah, no, that guy. As soon as I pulled up on this place, go flyer behind the hearse house. The hearse house. We'll see you now. But no, this guy in this white truck pulling up to park, come here, because I was going to the Bradbury Mountain, and I said, "Well, what is a hearse house? Never seen one of them before." Well, I had, but not one like this or whatever. And and uh, and this guy's naked, but a shirt on. I mean, his ass was hanging out. Guy younger than me. All, he was standing in his door, of his car, changing. I'm like, why is this guy half naked? I'm about to pull up on this guy, and I couldn't believe it because anybody driving by could see him. He's right there. We're right next to the road here. There's a car where this motorcycle is about to go by. This is how far I was from for that car. So there's this truck right there. You can just barely see it right there. I'm pulling up on the guy. The guy's half naked. No, he's changing or whatever. And later I find out he's changing into, bicyclist gear. They can bicycle around here, probably going to the mountain. And no, that was just ridiculous. His ass was hanging out. I'm sure if I stood long enough, I could see his junk swinging there. And I just couldn't believe it. I don't think that's Maine culture, just to let it all hang out just until you get in. You could have done it in your car. I've changed to complete nudity in my car, little car. But at least I got, I could look around. I have closed doors. I can make sure nobody's coming up on me. That was just ridiculous. I don't know what I just was witness to right there. But that's about all I got for you here, people. So me and Edward Knight over here are gonna wish you well. Edward got stuck right behind the hearse house. He didn't get the best seating in the graveyard theater here, but that's a nice backdrop right there. I'll leave you with, folks. So God love you, God bless you. Jesus is real, and please take your time to get to know him. There's a certain book that you can find out all about him. It's called the Bible. God bless.